Yo, yo, yo. What's good? What's good? It's Stormy B Man, and I am back. Welcoming you to Stormy B Man's Boxing Raps for this Thursday, March 19th, 2026. This is number 66 in my series of Boxing Raps Conversation. And tonight, we're calling this one Slim Pickings for Canelo in September. For those who may be unaware, Canelo Alvarez is slated to return to the ring this September, trying to maintain that Mexican holiday. But at the same time, there's supposed to be a heavy loaded Latino fight card. And the reason for this live this evening is to discuss the possibilities of what could transpire. There are a few names that were suggested to Canelo for this opportunity for his return to the ring, seeing that his most recent conqueror, Terrence Bud Crawford, is retired. And so Canelo, though he couldn't bait Crawford into a rematch after initially stating that he didn't want one, had to find another opponent. And so, seeing that he has this multi-fight deal with Turki Al-Sheikh and the Riyadh events, he's going to have to, what's that term they use? Kiss the ring, I believe it was said. He's going to have to kiss the ring and face someone of prominence in the sport. And we're going to talk about some of those names because it's very interesting. You know, DAZN dropped an article in late January about potential candidates. And as we're drawing through the year, things are starting to sort themselves out. You guys may remember there was a fight for the WBC 168-pound eliminator between Christian and Billy, who had held that interim title for a duration and had multiple eliminator defenses. And his most recent was on that undercard where Canelo faced Bud Crawford. When he took on Christian and Billy took on Lester Martinez, and they fought to a draw. It was then announced that they may face each other in a rematch. But now, as we have heard, Martinez is taking on Emmanuel Alim coming up very soon this month, and it'll be a Pro Box TV card nonetheless. And I did a video on that, so you guys can look to my main page to see that video breakdown. But we're going to talk this evening about the possibilities for Canelo's return. And I have none other than my brother Drew Titan in the building with me this evening. We may open up the panel for more people to join the conversation, because some of you guys out there are a part of the Canelo Protection Program, and we would like to hear what you might have to say about it. But yet and still, we're going to kick things off. What's going on, Drew? What's happening, man?
The boxing gods. The boxing gods are speaking, and you know what's happening. The more the boxing gods are speaking, you know it's unique when the clowns' world is collapsing around them and they don't know what the hell's going on. But what happens is when things come about, we're going to be right here saying, "What's the matter? You don't listen when we talk." You remember when we said this, and that? You didn't know what we was talking. We was very clear, but you were so far up someone's behind, sniffing in all the scent of feces, that you didn't even want to pay attention. You didn't take our words as, we're not telling you to take our word as law. We put the information out there. Investigate it yourself. But you know what the problem is, Stormy? Most people don't even know how to research and investigate because they're not into the sport. You always say, watch boxing. But if you don't watch boxing, you don't even know where to look to get your questions answered. It's called research. Articles from written, where the article came from, who wrote it, how does it compare with this article and what they said last year and what's going on this year. I just went through it this morning. On one hand, they say, hey, Tank Davis had a car accident. Oh, it's not real, it's fake news. Oh, and then someone else says, oh, well, it happened, but it happened last year. So why is it being released now? Oh, well, he's trying to sell his fight, but I thought he's a rock star. He don't need to do this to sell a fight. But what happened to the court case? Oh, we don't know. Oh, okay, so if it happened sometime this month or this week, what do you mean it's not on Google? What's going on? What's going on? Everybody's confused about everything. But it all leads to one simple analogy. We've been right about everything. And if a guy at that stature, and this is all relevant to what we're talking about, if a guy of that stature has to do things to sell his fight, what does that tell you? What we've been telling you about his lack of star power. It was all fake. It was all fake if you got to do that. And if he had an accident last year, it would have been on, you saying if it was an accident this year or yesterday or last month, it would have been on Google. Well, if it happened last year, why wasn't it on Google then? Duh, this is real stuff. All of this smoke and mirrors, right? Smoke and mirrors. We're talking about Canelo. We're going to break down why this is important. We all complained about him draining the swamp. Now, if you're a Canelo fan, you don't care. As long as he gets his money. I don't know what that's about because you're not on his payroll, but whatever. He gets his money. You don't care. We talked about him draining the swamp at the Zone, draining the swamp at PBC. We also said, hey, man, what's up with Al Heyman giving this dude all this money and Tank is right there? That was disrespectful. You didn't hear me when I say that because I was actually talking Tank up. Because you got a rock star
around when Al was giving out that money like that, there were a few PBC fighters outside of Canelo that could have enjoyed some of those
Canelo
fights he made against guys who were all there to fight each other.
Brings in Canelo and don't even promise the Benavidez fight. And you want to talk to me about business? Fine. So he blew that. So now he's over here with Turkey. We're going to break down what might happen. A lot of you, it's going to go over your head. But we're going to talk slow because we keep things simple here. We talked about Canelo draining the swamp and not promising you the best. Watch how we break it down and how everything's going to backfire. You watch what I tell you. Watch. I'm telling you, it's going to backfire. Watch.
It's hilarious, man. It's hilarious. And I've got this article pulled up where I can read directly from it. This is a boxing article published by DAZN, January 16th of this year. And it says, Canelo Alvarez has confirmed his return to the ring in 2026, with the star set to headline his own star-studded card on September 12th in Riyadh. The Mexican superstar, one of the sport's greatest pound-for-pound fighters, was defeated by Terrence Crawford 4 months ago in Las Vegas. Since then, questions have swirled over his next steps, particularly after his rival retired and scattered the undisputed super middleweight belts. Love it. Now his return is locked in for a Mexico against the world card in Saudi Arabia. But just who should Canelo face off with for his next chapter? Here, the DAZN news team weighs in on who they would like to see the hard-hitting favorite tackle as he bids to regain his place atop the pile. Now, when we speak about piles in boxing, you know Stormy with his gross self goes straight for the jugular with piles of caca. Yes, because that's what we have had from Canelo, huh? And so when we go through this list that DAZN had put up there for us, huh? The article states first, Chris Eubank Jr., huh? Canelo Alvarez's ring return has been confirmed for September this year, and there is likely to be a stack of fighters vying to be in the opposite corner. Over the next few months, the 168 pounds division is set to receive a major makeover, with several new world champions about to be crowned. That means the likes of Hamza Shiraz, Diego Pacheco, Asli Iglesias, and Christian Mbili are all pushing to be rulers at super middleweight. Depending on the outcome of several battles that are currently being negotiated, Canelo could have the pick of many fighters who are newly crowned world champions. Only thing is, if any of those names I just named become world champion, Canelo is more than likely not interested in fighting any of them. Receiving a straight shot should not be a problem for the legendary Mexican, but as well as those pushing for glory, don't count out dark horse contender Chris Eubank Jr. too. The Briton has a big name value. If Canelo is looking for a dance partner that could bring more eyes to his comeback, then Eubank Jr. could be the man to get the call. Your thoughts about that, Drew?
Let me break it down in simple terms. A lot of people don't pay, and salute to Eric Jordan. I just read your message, man. Bless you, man, and sorry for your loss, good brother. In lamest terms, because people don't watch boxing, Stormy. If you're a Canelo fan, you're worried. Those names at super middleweight, let's run them down. Let's walk them back for a minute. Hamza Shiraz, all 6'4", super middleweight. Hamza Shiraz. That's bad news. Did you say Iglesias? You said Iglesias, right? Well, you can ask Jose about Iglesias. That man is a whole problem at 168. Who else did we say? Did you say Pacheco?
Yep, Diego Pacheco.
Diego Pacheco. He's a problem.
He's definitely a problem because he presents a different type of a picture, similar to Hamza Shiraz.
He's 6'3".
He's actually 6'4", and the gentleman has that range and everything.
Yes,
like a Shiraz, and he could crack.
So you got height with Shiraz and Pacheco. Iglesias come from the Cuban school.
Ooh.
And Iglesias
and
is
there's a southpaw puncher too.
Southpaw puncher, right? And who else you said?
Christian Mbili.
Christian Mbili, who's an absolute buzzsaw. He just doesn't stop.
And then they said that those guys are the ones that are vying for titles.
Let me ask you a question.
Those four guys, Shiraz, Pacheco, Iglesias, and Mbili. But then they said one dark horse who could be a contender for the Canelo sweepstakes could be Chris Eubank Jr. because
no.
coming out of the UK,
Okay.
he has a following that would draw the type of box office that
Here we go.
They would want for something like that.
Right.
But he's also coming off a loss to Conor Ben, and
health issues,
not really, and health issues. So that's not really realistic. And I don't think that Eubank Jr. would throw his hat into something like that coming out of the circumstances that he's coming out of. I do believe that had he won another decision over Conor, it would be greater consideration. But I believe that man, if he wants to resume his boxing career, he wants to be able to turn a certain corner and get things back on a certain track before he considers throwing his hat in the arena like that. But I think that DAZN also was just trying to fluff the article up a little bit by mentioning him. That's one of the reasons why, I put his image up there, but to know realistically, I don't think that he's a candidate that Turkey would really want at this particular time. And before I go further, I want to say salute to Eric Jordan, and sorry for your loss as well, brother. I wasn't ignoring that. Sympathies are with you and your family at this time.
Sir. What you guys need to know, when we say watch boxing, it's for a couple of reasons. First of all, you need to watch the sport and enjoy it for what it is. And it's okay to be a fan of a particular fighter. But the reason why we say watch boxing is because you, as a supporter of that fighter, you need to be aware of their surroundings. And basically what this show is, y'all, if you're a Canelo fan, that's fine, but there's nowhere to run now. And when we say run, trust me, we've been saying Canelo has been draining the swamp and robbing the bank for a while now. He went to DAZN, 100 milli. And what did he give you in DAZN? I didn't ask for 3 fights. I asked for 1 fight with Golovkin, maybe 2. All right? I didn't ask for the 3rd Golovkin fight. Didn't ask for that. And then he said he wasn't going to do it. But then when he realized he couldn't run around at 175 freely, he went back to 68 and gave you Golovkin.
Dude, that 3rd fight with Golovkin was worse than watching that movie with what was his name? Robert De Niro, and when they were playing the 2 aging fighters.
Oh, bro. I remember that. What was the name of that movie? That was funny as hell.
Where's Young Deezy when you need him? Tell us what that name of that movie was. Stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's like, man. I swear they could have rolled 2 coffins into the ring and had people just push them up against each other, and you would have seen a better bout. That's what that was,
bro. We talking to Canelo fans. This is the I told you so. This is I told you so. Do y'all understand? See, you don't know these names, but we're looking at it like, yo, we know what's going on. Now, I'm going to say this, the less of all of that evil surrounding him, you may think it's Christian and Billy. You may look at it and say, hey, man, this is James Kirkland 2.0. Not necessarily. What y'all might not not understand is by the time James Kirkland got the Canelo, James Kirkland was already done, bro. He was already done. He'd been through a couple of wars. He'd been stopped a couple of times. Well, at least one time that I know about. But this kid and Billy, you're really going to have to knock this dude out. Now, can Canelo do it? Probably. But at this level in the game, do y'all understand that Canelo in dog years is old? And this is a fight he might not want to put up with this late in his career. He's been real selective. And
we're talking damn near 70 fights.
That's what I'm saying. Now, you avoided the Benavidez work. But you getting it with him, Billy, and he's throwing punches from round 1 to damn 12. Do you want to do that this late in your career? Canelo wouldn't pick this. But guess what? Y'all know how y'all like to say Turkey forced Devin to do certain things he didn't want to do? And we said, now that's bullshit. Devin did it because he wanted to do it. Oh, he made him fight Brian Norman because they didn't like the Tom and Jerry thing. I said, that's not true. He fought Brian Norman because he wanted to. And he fought Brian Norman because Ryan didn't want to. He didn't want to fight him, so he moved up in weight to fight Brian Norman. Turkey didn't make him do it. He did it. Now, take that same ideology and listen to what we're saying tonight. Canelo is surrounded. Stormy.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to make this a clip. And I clipped it, but I wanted to send it to you. You remember Enter the Dragon when Bruce was beating everybody up and then he ran and the door started closing on him? Yeah. And he just had to sit down, put the nunchucks. That's Canelo right now. You're beating everybody up. You're beating up the jabronis. You're beating up the people you're supposed to beat. There's no bosses. Those are just peons you're beating up. And then you run into that one little area, doom, 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 and you're caught. You're done. You're done.
Your battle with the bums was extraordinary.
Yeah, your skills. And I was going to ask you to join us. Yeah, that's Canelo. Now, is he going to fight his way out? Is he going to fight Mr. Han? Who's Mr. Han? Hamza Shiraz? Iglesias? Who's Mr. Han in this? And does it end like that? You know? I mean, yo, listen, y'all don't know. See, y'all don't watch boxing. Y'all don't know. Do y'all know Iglesias is an entire issue for Canelo? Iglesias is an entire issue. Christian and Billy. Who would, at this level in Canelo's career, why would you want to fight him, Billy? I'm not saying that Canelo is going to lose to him, but that's something you don't want to deal with on the way. All right, you know, I'm gonna give you a perfect example. You didn't realize, coming off of a loss, you didn't realize that Roy Jones didn't need to be in there with Glenn Koff Johnson. You didn't realize it until the fight started happening. As soon as the bell rang, he's chasing Roy around the ring. I'm like, oh, hopefully this guy get tired. And then you turn around and he clocked Roy. And that was a scary knockout. You see what I mean? You didn't know. Canelo has busted wheels, and he might not want to deal with that at this level of his career. And Billy doesn't stop. Now, I'm not saying that Billy's going to beat him. Canelo could slip and catch him in an exchange and knock him out. That could happen. It could be James Kirkland 2.0. But at this level, you should be riding off into the sunset with shit that you know you can get off on, which is what he tried to do. But if you didn't retire after Bud, do you think Turkey's going to pay you all this money to put you in a ring with things you know with fighters you know you're going to beat? Shiraz and Billy, Iglesias, Pacheco. This man is surrounded. And this is what you get for not fighting Benavidez.
Osleys Iglesias, man. You know, I had mentioned him, right? Because I had watched, you know, those Cuban guys pop up on the radar, but people don't be into them because they, you know, it's like it's a name you don't know or whatever. But every time I have a chance to look at the Cuban fighters, I'm always looking a little deeper because I've recognized the fact, and Drew, you know this because you and I have had conversation behind the scenes, that there is a covert agenda for keeping these Cubans out of the spotlight and out of championship circumstances where they have the respect of the sport. You see, because that's why they put them on little cars that don't nobody watch and stuff like that, and hope that nobody sees anything. Just like they're presently doing with that young man that's down there at lightweight that's waiting on Shakur to step up. You know, that Javier Herrera kid, that kid, same thing. But Iglesias is 14 and 0. And the man is a southpaw with 13 knockouts. And he's 28 years of age. He's 6'2.5". So almost like Diego Pacheco.
All these guys is tall as hell. I think Billy's the shortest one.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my God, bro.
These guys are killers, bro. They're not like, you know, we've seen in the super middleweight division for a number of years, there was a dry spell where Canelo was beating up on has-beens, never-words, and hopefuls. But the ones that he should have been fighting, like the Morels and the Benavidez, he stalled that out. Those other platforms that had him signed, like PBC and HBO and DAZN and even Showtime. Listen, they kept paying him for doing little to nothing. No more. Matchroom too. I forgot to mention Matchroom. They were paying this guy boatloads, and remember, they never was telling you what his box office was, what the pay-per-views or whatever. They never said it, which means that's more than enough validation that they were not getting a ROI, you know,
no return on investment.
Because they, if it were, they tell you right away, wouldn't they? Oh, he did this many numbers and this and that, right? It's just like Ryan just fought this dude, Barrios. They don't talk about.
They don't talk about those numbers.
They don't, because there wasn't no numbers. Huh? And see, we talk about these things. We put the information out there, and people are so hell bent on just following who they like and everything like that, which is what leads me to say everybody should just watch boxing, because these men that we've mentioned their names, and Billy, Pacheco, Shiraz, and Iglesias, those are the men who gonna have those belts.
That's right.
One of them is gonna have a combination of them, or at least one of them, because they're that damn good.
You ain't got to worry about Canelo passing the baton to anybody, passing the torch. One of these dudes gonna take it. And let me say this, Stormy. I don't see Canelo fighting all four of those guys. Maybe two based off of how he looks. Let's say he gets past them Billy.
Listen,
he might fight one of
those guys. Could have Canelo on his back.
Badly.
Any of them. This is not a Bud Crawford who's been fighting at lighter weights for a number of years. These are men who are natural super middleweights,
bro,
and they can do damage. Did you see what? And you and I were talking about this before going live. Did you see what Shiraz did to Berlanga?
Bro, I was about to say that.
And what did Canelo do to Berlanga? And look at what Shiraz did to him.
He carried him. And mind you, let me walk it back for the people that don't know. Canelo ducked Benavidez. That's a fact. He said all Benavidez has to offer is an additional 20 pounds on fight night. Benavidez did the right thing and not choose to wait around for him. He moved on with his career. He went to 175 and fought Bostick. On fight night, I understand that Edgar Berlanga was about 198 pounds, rehydrated. That's what I understand. Multiple people told me this, right? David Benavidez went up in weight to 175. He fought Bostick in a pretty tough fight. But he came in 3 pounds lighter than Edgar Berlanga did versus Canelo, and Benavidez was at a higher weight. But Berlanga, it was clearly a skill set situation because Berlanga got dropped in the fight, but Canelo couldn't get him out of there because if he could, he would have done it. Berlanga, right? When he signed to fight Hamza Shiraz, I went to the presser, y'all, if y'all remember. I was there. And Edgar was selling the fight, and he's acting out and acting super Brooklyn stereotype. I was down by the stage, and I stood right next to Hamza. I'm 6'2", he's definitely 6'4". Definitely. So I'm looking at him, and he had on a suit. But I'm looking at him because I size these fighters up all the time. Stormy, he had to have been right there, 200 pounds. Had to be. And I'm like, wait a minute. And then I look, and I'm looking at Berlanga. I'm significantly bigger than him. But he's about 6 feet, but I'm bigger than him. And I'm like, he's about 180 right now. And then I look at Hamza, and I look at Edgar, and I look at Hamza. I said, nah, this ain't right. Edgar gonna get fucked up. But I was like, you know what? It's boxing. I don't know. Maybe Hamza can't take a punch. And that fight played out in my mind. I said, that fight, when I said worst case scenario, this is what happens to Edgar. It was completely from round one was the worst case scenario. As a matter of fact, Hamza said when they asked him, how did you know you had him? And it was a part of the fight where he hit him, and he said, I heard him say, oh shit. I heard him say it in the ring. And Edgar is not a good enough boxer to learn how to fight off, to know how to fight off the back foot. He was toast. Now, I watched that, and I remember talking to the brother Xavier, because we spoke that night, and he says, yo, listen, Canelo, gotta stay away from him. If he wants to remain like unbeaten, Hamza's a problem at 68. And don't get fooled off the Adames fight. He was weight drained, and Adames provided a different look. Canelo is old in dog years. These guys are young, and they're not coming. They're here already. And there's nowhere for Canelo to go. And see, this is why I'm saying death to the old regime, because Canelo has a fan base where they don't care who he fights as long as he's looking great. These guys fighting under Turkey and Canelo getting that money, he's going to have to earn it. Hamza's a problem. Iglesias a problem. And Billy's a problem. Pacheco's a problem. And I got a Pacheco live coming soon. This is a problem. It's feast or famine. Now, I will say this. I don't see him fighting all four of those guys. He might fight two. He might fight two.
And that'd be contingent on him getting past one of them.
Right. And if he gets past, if I was to say he can compete and probably beat anybody, it would be in Billy, because he's the smallest out of all of them. But he's still going to be in there and make it a dog fight. And if he gets past him, Billy, I'm telling y'all right now, I don't see him fighting Pacheco and winning. Hamza will kill Canelo, bro. These guys provide a similar issue in height and stature that Benavidez did. Mm-hmm. He avoided Benavidez because they knew 100% Benavidez is a killer, but he jumped out the frying pan into the flames because all of these guys could beat him. And I'll say this, if he fights two and looks outstanding in winning, I will give Canelo all the credit in the world. But I'm telling you right now, I don't see him doing it. He's not going to fight Iglesias. I'm telling you that right now. That is not Eris Landry Lara. That's not that. I'm telling you, Hamza Shiraz will walk Canelo down and eventually get him. Pacheco, same thing. These guys are over 6 feet tall, man. This is a problem for Canelo. But y'all don't watch boxing. Watch what I tell you. Don't be shocked if he gets in there one of these guys and he on the floor, he getting wrapped. This ain't even Gennady Golovkin. This ain't that. This is not that. I'm telling you. Look at that. This kid, man. Y'all didn't know that Pacheco's father was 6'3". That's why he's so tall.
Listen, bro. I did a video on Diego Pacheco like 2 years ago. First of all, let me pause for a quick moment to acknowledge EJ's Rumble rant. He says, Canelo most definitely ain't going to fight his contemporaries. That will give him a real challenge. Unfortunately, Canelo going to try to find the easiest win, fight that he can fight, and wanting a big payday. No, see, let me tell you something about that, EJ, and thank you for your Rumble rant. Listen, he can't do that with Turkey. Turkey has put it in with him that he has to fight one of the men that we're talking about. That's the purpose of this live, is to inform you that, like Drew gave the analogy of earlier with Bruce Lee and Enter the Dragon, when he was in that dungeon fight and he ran into that corridor and all those doors slammed around him and he just had to take his nunchucks, put them around his neck and sit on the floor, Indian style, because he was trapped. Canelo is trapped, you guys. And he is being taken to task, which is a beautiful thing. It's unfortunate for him that he's near 70 fights now, but had he faced the music a little sooner in his career, maybe one of these guys would be well into a title reign by now, including the likes of Morrell and Benavidez, two that he avoided for so long. You see, sometimes when you avoid the work, the task at hand, the pressure and the duty mounts a lot of times, and you make it worse for yourself when the accumulation of the task becomes more mountainous, and you have to understand that the only way to get the job done is to roll your sleeves up and go to work. Anybody who owns a home, and you know when fall comes around, you got leaves falling off the trees and everything, and you got to go out there and clean that yard. You got to go out there and rake those leaves and everything and get rid of the debris. If you don't do it, it's going to cause some problems. Those leaves can go into sewer traps and everything, and you have flooding and all kinds of stuff. And listen, again, a homeowner knows what I'm talking about. You apartment dwellers don't know a damn thing. So this is what I'm saying. But you take a guy like this kid on the screen. He is everything that you want out of a young fighter. Diego, and like I said, I talked about him a couple of years ago. I said, you know, I do these videos from time to time, one to watch. And I proclaimed him a couple of years ago. He's 25 wins, no losses, 18 KOs. He's 25 years old, 6'4" with a 79-inch reach. Okay? That is formidable against anyone. Against anyone. And he's the one that took on Trevor McCumbee, you know, the brownie guy, the bigger picker-upper guy that Caleb Plant had
McCumbee,
trouble with. Yeah. But he beat that guy easily over 12 rounds. And his most recent fight was December when he fought that guy, Kevin Lele Sadjo. And he got dropped for the first time in his career in the 8th round of that fight. But he went on to a unanimous decision with there. He's been, you know, stellar. And don't forget, back in January of last year, he was the one that beat Steven Nelson.
Oh, so, yeah.
You know, this kid is he's ready. You know what I'm saying? He's ready. But he's not a real loud guy. He's not a guy that's pushing and pressing, because guess what? At 25, it's gonna be there for him. Yeah. It's gonna be there for him because he's got two things going for him. He can fight and he's Mexican. Hey, so, there you go. So yeah, you know, Canelo, these gates are closing around this dude, man. And we haven't even mentioned the 5th guy, Lester Martinez, whom Christian and Billy drew with last September, and is getting ready to fight next week on ProBox TV for that interim WBC's 168-pound eliminator bout. Listen, Lester is a Guatemalan, y'all. He's not Mexican, but he's as tough as an Argentina. And guess what? He can fight. He can box. He got movement. He can punch. He can take a punch. And he seems to be just getting better, bro. And he's trained out of B&B gym. Listen, man. Canelo, the writing is on the wall, huh? You know, Bud Crawford retired after their fight. It would have behooved him to do the same thing. And some of you may get mad at me saying that, but listen, if he gets in the ring with one of these guys, remember my words.
It's not gonna be because not so much that he's old, because the dog years, that's a real thing. But I need you guys to understand, on top of him having a lot of miles on him, his experiences was going to keep the fight going late into the rounds, because it's damn sure not going to be his body. And I need you guys to understand that this is going to be more than these guys having a good night. Canelo has peaked, but make no mistake about it, he chose a lot of his opponents and moved around people that would have given him a headache. I need you to remember his track record. Floyd embarrassed him. Lara, in my opinion, won that fight. Didn't run it back. He didn't want to fight Bubu Andre because of the lateral movement. At that time, he didn't want to fight Jamal Charlo because of the lateral movement, and that version of Jamal Charlo was very aggressive. Think about what he's done up until now. He hasn't progressed. He's peaked. But we can't act like this guy's unbeatable. Everyone knows the formula. It's about implementing the formula. Floyd is a small dude, but he outboxed him. Lara, kind of bigger than him, but he's a pure boxer, right? These guys around 168 that we're talking about, they can box, but they also are not afraid of Canelo, and they will walk his ass down in spots. Bivol took the gas on, but let me remind y'all, I just talked about him choosing. Do y'all know it would have been easier for him to make the Beterbiev fight? Because he was a WBC champion at that time. He could have went right up and fought Beterbiev. Why do y'all think he ain't fight Beterbiev? I'll answer it. Beterbiev would have did what Bivol could have done. Bivol just boxed him and was nice to him towards the end of the fight. Beterbiev wouldn't have went there. He wouldn't have played with him. And he'd have got Canelo out of there in maybe 6 rounds. That's why he didn't even bother with him. But he went up there and fought a pure boxer, and he got outboxed. And I want to remind y'all, go look at the size difference between Bivol and Canelo. Hell, Kovalev was outboxing him early in the fight. I want you to consider these things. These 4 names that we mentioned, they're not going to play with Canelo. Plus, Canelo's old. They're not scared of him. This is not the old regime. He can't pick and choose anymore. So when you're talking about Turkey making people get into the ring, this is that. He's not going to pay you for nonsense. You ain't want to fight Beterbiev? I mean, you ain't want to fight Benavidez? All right, cool. All this smoke at 168 that y'all not paying attention to, do not be surprised if he gets in there and looks bad. If he gets by Billy, I'm wondering who he fights next. He can't call out anybody but the names we mentioned, man, because he's at 68. The belts are all up for grabs. Bud's gone. You lost that. By the way, Bud, to me, made it look easy and fought him in the pocket. Ain't nobody scared of Canelo, bro. Ain't nobody scared of him. These dudes are looking to take his head off. You think Hamza Shiraz, he don't talk much, but he high-key wants that fight. You know Iglesias wants that smoke. You know Billy wants that smoke. And you know Pacheco? Wait a minute. What happened to Canelo saying, I don't want to fight Mexicans anymore? How convenient. This ain't Munguia, bruh. This ain't that. There's nowhere for him to go. So I see him. He has 2 fights on the way out. And mark my words, he gonna get his ass beat, bro. And it's gonna be ugly. But don't say he had an off night or whatever. This ain't that. These guys are coming, and there's nowhere for him to go now. There's no more made to mail order brides anymore. This ain't that.
This ain't William Skull either, you know.
No, this ain't William Skull, bro.
Somebody that's gonna run and all of that foolishness. And let us not forget that even when Dmitry Bivol beat him up, Dmitry offered to drop down to 168 and fight him for his undisputed titles.
That's right.
Canelo changed his phone number and disappeared from Mexico for a duration. Yeah.
Yep.
But this is the greatest part of that scenario. None of his followers said a damn thing. This man offered. He's like, okay, we fought for my belts. I retained them. But you're due a rematch because of your status. So how about I come down and fight you for your belts?
Mm-hmm.
Canelo was like, pew. He was out of there. Left the sport. Remember, he dropped off the map for a while, Drew. We didn't see him. That's not an exaggeration. You know, you always see Canelo somewhere popping up or whatever, right? No, that dude was hidden. Huh? So, pew, pew. We're not exaggerating. This is the real deal. This is what happened. You know what I mean? And what I really, really love about it is people are in denial about this stuff. You know, they could say, oh, Devin needs to fight this guy. Devin needs to do this. Devin needs to move up. Devin, blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, what do Canelo need to do?
Nothing. He's Canelo. He's Canelo. He don't need to do nothing. This is how they think, Stormy. You remember when Fag 7 got on my line? He said, you keep saying Tank need to do this and do that. He don't need to do nothing. This is how all of they want to protect their fighters. We want to see our fighters prove their mettle. These guys want to protect their fighters like it's their girlfriend. We ain't the same, bro. We ain't the same. And I love it. Canelo gonna get it. Canelo gonna get it. And look, and Billy is gonna be the underdog in that fight. But he's gonna be on Canelo like a cheap suit. He's gonna make him work. And what I'm asking y'all, I see the queen in the chat, and what I'm asking y'all, seriously, at this level, you don't want to take fights like that. At this level, you don't. I just gave out a Roy Jones comparison. He lost to Tarver. He was getting back in the saddle, but Roy was old in dog years, and he didn't know. I guess Glenn Johnson wasn't well scouted, and Glenn's not a boxer. He walked Roy down, balls to the wall, and eventually he caught him. And it was one of the most scariest knockouts I ever seen. That shit kept me up that night. I said, oh man, I hope Roy's all right. And he wasn't the same after that fight. It wasn't so much the Tarver fight. It was that fight he wasn't the same.
I never seen nothing like that before either. When Roy got knocked out by Glenn Koff Johnson, man.
His head he was frozen. His head was off
his
the back.
Wasn't even touching the canvas.
Yeah.
He was laying flat on his back, but his head was a couple of inches off of the canvas.
Bro, I really was in my house.
That means his body was tense, you know, like, you know.
That was scary, bro. That was one of the scariest knockouts I ever seen. And I gasped because I'm in my, I'm in my bedroom like, yo, is he okay? Oh, that was scary. But if he knew, matter of fact, Stormy, if you can find it, the post-fight in the ring has to be on YouTube. I need you to look at it because you heard Roy for the first time talk about what didn't work for him. I never heard him talk like that. He said, yeah, you know, the guy chasing me around the ring, you know, that's not me. I was like, huh? I remember that. I said, oh shit, it's over. He's not Superman anymore. The second time I heard him say something like that was when he was fighting Joe Calzaghe. He was in the corner saying, yeah, I can't catch him. I was like, oh my God, that's not the Roy I grew up watching. It's not. It's over with. And Canelo is in the mix now with 4 individuals that can literally put him in a blender. Now, if he gets out that blender to 2 fights with legitimate wins, I'll give him all the credit in the world. I will. Because this is not easy stuff. And if you watch boxing, you know that this either is sink or swim. Because if he comes out of here fighting at least 2 of these guys and he wins, no nonsense, I will give him a lot of credit, bro. But I'm telling y'all right now, I don't see him getting out of this unscathed. This Christian and Billy thing, it can go one of 2 ways. It could be James Kirkland 2.0 because Christian throws He throws. Y'all remember Mike Tyson's Punch Out? Y'all remember Punch Out video game? You remember Super Macho Man when he would throw a hook so hard he'd turn around? That's him, Billy. But what happens when he's in the pocket with Canelo and walking him down and just hitting him? Boom, 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 boom. And let me talk about Lester Martinez real quick, y'all. Put in the chat. Here's why this is important. Put in the chat who trains Lester Martinez. I know Queen knows. I know Jose may know. But who trains Lester Martinez? Go ahead and put the name in the chat. And then you'll have the answer as to why Canelo really wouldn't be thrilled on fighting Lester. Who trains him? Do y'all know? And this is why he's a dangerous option. There's nowhere for this guy to go, bro. Y'all taking too long. Bomac. Thank you, Adrian. Bomac trains him. The blueprint's there. Everyone knows how to beat Canelo. You see, I don't know why people are acting like we never seen Canelo lose. The dude is dead ass beatable. So if you think
see this punch he's landing on M. Billy right here,
bro, you know what's crazy? M. Billy ate that and threw another. Man, those guys fought, man.
Listen, that was one of the fights of the year.
Yes, it was.
Guys. But let me say this about this kid, Lester. He's good enough to fight. That fight he fought against M. Billy, plus change it up.
Yep.
And move and give you angles and step around. In other words, he could box on the back foot. He could box going forward. He could stand on the inside and go blow for blow. This is something that's Canelo hasn't been able to deal with a fighter like that in a very, very long time.
That's right.
A very, very long time. And guess what, you guys, just for a little lead in so you'll understand how the fight ended up turning out for Canelo. That was one of Bud's major sparring partners when preparing for Canelo.
Uh-oh. He does not want to see this kid. Because it's all tactical. Now, you duck Lester, fine. You fight M. Billy. Do you want this guy to be all up over you for 12 rounds and making you work? And then after the M. Billy work, you're supposed to get in there with giant-ass Hamza Shiraz or Diego Pacheco or Osli Iglesias. Do y'all watch boxing? We're telling you now. Now, listen. I know the next conversation is very popular for you haters. Oh, you just want to see Canelo lose. No, I want to see him test his mettle at this level in his career because you're telling me he's one of the GOATs. And I'm saying, fine, prove it. Prove it, prove it, prove it. But if he don't feel comfortable moving forward, because there's no David Benavidez now, you got away from that. But now look, you got other giant dudes coming through that are going to provide similar issues.
And he can't even go up to the next weight class either, because guess who's waiting for him up there?
Who? David will turn right back around and go back.
He got Benavidez up there, Morrell is up there, Bivol is up there, Benavidez is up there.
Benavidez up there, Bivol's up there. There's nowhere to go, bro. There's nowhere to go.
Oh, and none of them are taking a payday.
You want payday? I know that.
I know that.
They're not doing that. He can't position that. He can't play. That's why I love the new regime. He can't play that. Watch this. Canelo's money's guaranteed, so there's no need for y'all because he's happy with the money. So that money's not the problem. His opponents, they're happy with the money. They already know what they're getting. All you have to do is fight or retire. Look, he can retire. Canelo did enough. He can retire.
Yes, he can.
But make no mistake about it. We're telling you, if he retires right now, if he doubles back and says, yo, you know something? I don't even want to do 2 of these fights. I'm telling y'all right now, if he retired tomorrow and says, you know what? Changed my mind. I need to announce my retirement. I know money's not, well, I ain't going to say I know. I'm gonna assume money's not the issue. You know what? If he retired tonight, I'd be like, you know what? Fine, cool, because you know what? All these names we read off today, there's nothing. It's a hard road, not impossible, but it's a hard road at 68, and it is impossible at 75. Don't even do it. Because if he goes to 75, I don't want to see him fighting anybody but running it back with Bivol like he said he wanted to do. And then after Bivol, you got to fight Better BF. And then you got to, if you're going up, you got to fight Benavidez or Better BF or Bivol, the 3 Bs. You got to do that. He ain't doing that. So there's nothing up there at 68. At 75. He has hard work at 68. Look, right now is the best time for him to retire. Don't even do it, bro. If you love Canelo, tell him to go sit his ass down. Or watch him work, but don't be shocked when he starts getting battered around the ring. The last time you saw Canelo hurt was when Miguel Cotto's brother hit him. He's been hurt, but he has a better poker face. But he was wobbled versus Cotto's brother. I'm telling you right now, this fight, any of these fights, he may be doing a stanky leg, if not getting dropped.
Dude, Iglesias, Pacheco, and Shiraz puts him on his ass.
Hell
Those three. Because they have the size, the reach, the range, and the power.
Mm-hmm.
They are legitimate 168 pounders. He's not. He's fooled the shit out of you guys for years because he was in a safe space, pretty much protected by Mauricio. But it's a new day. Where's Junior's song with Sean? It's a new day because these guys want to rumble.
That's right.
Listen, the first name that they offered him through this situation was Osleys Iglesias. And the reason that I believe that name was offered to him, because he's the one with the least amount of fights, 14-0 with 13 KOs. But he might be the most dangerous out of all of them. He might be. Because he's from the Cuban School of Boxing, fighting out of Germany. And guess what? He is a fierce SOB. Fierce. I keep telling you guys, I've been watching the Cuban fighters. I know what they're trying to do to the Cuban fighters. And I wish I could encourage more of our content creators to speak the facts about these circumstances. You remember that video I did, Welcome to Black Murderers Row. What was that, 2016 or something like that when I did that? Oh yeah, I did that before, a while back. But I made a point where I talked about the guys like Guillermo Rigondeaux, and I talked about Luis King Kong Ortiz and a couple of others that during that time when the video was made, because you cannot convince me there isn't an agenda to keep those men away from the titles, because if they do get a hold of the titles, they're going to be hard people to defeat.
That's right.
Because they have skill sets. Look at how heavily avoided Frank Sanchez has been in the heavyweight division. And he isn't even what King Kong Ortiz was. Right. But he has still been a heavily avoided commodity because of that school of boxing, man. They know how to fight. They know how to fight within a fight, meaning
That's
that
right.
They know how to make adjustments. They know how to, if they got to dig in and do their thing, they will. If they got to stand on the outside and do from distance and give you movement, they are well schooled.
That's right.
You saw the fight between Ray Mortai and Andy Cruz.
Andy Cruz, yeah, absolutely.
Andy Cruz fought his ass off. He didn't have the punching power of a Ray Mortai, and I didn't like the scorecards because he was in that fight. They talked about it, and Mortai talked about it as if he just was, Andy Cruz couldn't handle him. That's bull crap. You never saw him run in there on Andy Cruz, though, did you?
No. Andy kept them honest.
And
they were in there thinking, man. I really enjoyed that fight.
Yes. And if you ask me, the difference in the win and loss column was the corners.
Yeah.
Robert Garcia working with Morataya was a better coaching situation than Bozy Ennis in Andy Cruz's corner. You put Randy, you put Ronnie Shields in there, or if you put Andre Ward's former trainer in there, or Bo Mack, Cruz wins that fight.
I think
Cruz
so.
Wins that fight because you know why? Those men would have been able to tell him what's working is that southpaw jab. Boy, he can't do with it. You saw Morataya's face after that fight. He couldn't get past that stick. But
get past it.
Andy would get away from it from time to time because he was trying to set down on punches and stuff like that. Right. You don't have to do that when you got one single weapon that's working so well and the other guy can't solve that issue.
That's right.
You double down on it. You triple down on it. And that's the difference. You see, but Bozy, what was he saying? Come on, man. You got to get out there and get at him. You got to, it's like,
it's the instruction.
Where are the real instructions at, bro? And see, again, you guys think that I'm just coming at these guys when I say these things like that? No, but a seasoned coach who can bring a fighter through circumstances. He can give him the keys to unlock the locks on the doors. Bozy can't do that. I'm sorry. And at the top level, it's going to take more than someone being talented. You're going to have tactical means, strategic means, and a sense of how to adjust on the fly. And the coach is who helps you do that. You can't just tell them, like T.O.'s dad. T.O.'s dad would tell him, come on, man, you got to get in there. You got to hit him. You know,
bro. And they want to talk about father-son trainers. I've heard some crap. I've heard shitty advice from Angel Garcia, Boozy, and Teofimo Sr. This was some of the worst advice I've ever. I listen for things like that. This is some of the worst things I've ever heard. And you know who also gives horrible corner advice? Eddie Reynoso, man. It's bad. When it's translated, I'm like, what the hell? Canelo's literally in there thinking for himself. And it's either that or he didn't know what to tell him to do versus Bud.
Salute to the general out there. I didn't see 78 out there.
Oh, salute 78. Salute. Yeah, we didn't. Were they that mind boggled? Go in there and hit him. Do you remember how bad the corner work was with Cesar Chavez and what's his name that they robbed at the closing moments of the damn fight by Richard Steele?
Meldrick Taylor.
Meldrick Taylor. They just abandoned strategy. They were just in there saying, do it for your family. Show your heart. Do it for your family. It was like, oh, shit. There was no instruction there because he couldn't do nothing with him. And he clipped him at the end. But corner work is essential. And Eddie Reynoso, between Eddie Reynoso and Canelo being over the hill, and over the hill with this young group of hungry people, bro, listen. Watch boxing, because you will know. Don't just smooth sail, because this ain't the old regime. You keep hearing me say the old regime. The old regime is where Canelo gets to pick and choose and you just make the purchase. The man told you. I don't want to fight Gennady Golovkin for a third time. It's out my system. Went to 75, tried to pad his legacy, got outboxed, came back down to 68 and fought Golovkin. This man says, I don't want to fight Mexicans anymore. Right? To duck David Benavidez. David Benavidez says, F you, goes up in weight. He gives you Jaime Munguia. This guy's been playing in y'all face the whole time. Then he says, I'm not going to do, what does beating Bud Crawford do for me? It's not going to do anything for me. It means nothing. What if I beat him? It means nothing. He got in there and got his ass beat. In fact, he got rocked. I need them to bring back 15 rounds because Bud would have got him. He was about to whoop his ass and get him out of there. But I think Canelo's the type that'll quit in his corner before he'll get knocked out. He's that type. But what I'm revealing to you guys is this guy's always been a large portion. I don't want to discredit all of them, but I'm saying a large portion. When Floyd Mayweather passed the torch to him, a large portion of his career has been a marketing scheme. And what we're saying is, as of 2026, if he's going to stay in the game, he's going to have to work for it. And if he works it out and wins, I'll give him credit, man. I'm going to tell you, hey, don't cut down Hamza Shiraz if he beats him. No, that guy was official. Pacheco's official. Iglesias is official. And Billy's official. I'm telling y'all, these 4 fighters at 68 is going to be the hardest. I know in his mind, hey, man, I can get undisputed at 68 again. Motherfucker, no, you can't. I'm saying you can't. You have to make me a believer. Somebody gonna whoop his ass, bro. And it's gonna be ugly on the way out. It's gonna be, no, it ain't gonna be, he's boxing and he loses a close one. He might break out into a fight. But when Hamza, and you gotta understand math, these guys are punching downward. Edgar Berlanga really thought Shiraz couldn't hurt him. And he filled out. And
he had an oh shit moment.
He had an oh shit moment, exactly. When he got in that ring, the day before he made 168, I'm telling you on fight night, that man was every bit of 200 pounds, man. And he's punching downward. And Edgar was about 200. But Edgar if y'all missed it, go watch the damn fight. Edgar was never in that fight. And he got stopped. You think Canelo ain't see that? Canelo don't want no smoke with these guys. You may think he do. Wait till the Billy fight. And I think Billy, and I say this respectfully, if I'm gonna pick Canelo to beat somebody, it would be Billy stylistically.
And there's another reason too that I'll add to that. Let me just say this real quick. If the general is still in the chat, I dropped you a link if you wanted to come up and cook with us. That's if you're still in the chat and you're up for it, General. Or should I say, like our departed brother, Batman, Slim.
Yeah, Slim. Because
78 is Slim.
Bro.
Now.
Y'all have no idea, bro. Cat's been hitting me up behind the scenes. I was like, yo, 78, his face looking slim. I was like, yeah. I know what the brother doing, man. Like, he doing those 2 a days. The body, hey, bro. General, bro.
Yeah,
I saw that,
good, man. You might inspire old Stormy to make a comeback. It's like, man, looking good,
bro.
But no, what I was gonna say about this thing with Canelo, even these men fighting each other is a hellstorm.
Yeah,
because I can't pick presently. Just thinking of their names and putting all their names in a vat. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so much talent there. It's so much talent, youth, ambition, desire, ability. And remember, when you're talking about fighting at the top level of the sport, the talent after 4 or 5 rounds, the talent goes out of the window. What happens beyond that becomes that desire, that sense of, who wants it more, who can endure more, who can put out more. All of those factors, the intangibles, become a part of what's happening. And some of these guys are willing to go through the fire to get what they want because they've been denied. They've been held to the side. You know what I mean? For someone like this. Do you realize that for the better part of 6 years, Canelo, before Bud defeated him, was holding all of these men's careers at bay?
That's right.
And the sanctioning bodies have been assisting with it.
That's right.
How many times while Canelo was undisputed, how many times did the WBC mandate Canelo to fight any of those guys? Not once. When Benavidez was at 168, he fought at least 4 WBC eliminators himself.
At
And
least,
Billy, over the past couple of years, has fought about 3 himself. And the other sanctioning bodies haven't enforced the damn thing.
and
It's
they don't, man, they don't.
They stripped Bud Crawford
on that.
after he won the fight. You see what I'm saying?
They don't speak on that, because you know what? If you're a fanatic of the dude, Canelo could do no wrong, and we've been saying this, but he has this cult following, and nobody cares. But now, what y'all put on Devin Haney when y'all was saying, oh, he has to, you know that kiss the ring thing that y'all always talking about? Yeah, finally, you're really seeing it now. Now, Canelo is being compensated. That's not a problem. He's earned it. That's not a problem. But now, that big old bag, he's not going to be able to drain the swamp like he did in the zone, like he did the PBC.
Nope.
He's legitimate.
Turkey gave him his own personal hit list. And these guys' names are on it. There's no William Skulls or Jaime Munguias and all of that foolishness. You got people who are legitimately there because they are going to provide the best opposition. Salute to the General, just joined us in the building. What's going on, General? How you doing?
Salute, brothers. Now cracking up. Stormy say there's no William Skulls and Jaime Munguia and all that foolishness. That man said his career is foolishness.
It's true. It's true, man. I just sat there and said, before Benavidez moved up to 175, he fought in at least 4 WBC eliminators. At least 4.
Right.
And that goes back several years. And Billy fought in at least 3.
Yep.
And none of the other sanctioning bodies have mandated anyone. No one. This guy has had a smooth ride. And when he thought that he was on something with Bivol kicked his butt. And so he, like I said earlier in the show when Drew and I was talking about it, I said he went and hid for like almost a year. And Bivol said, you're entitled to a rematch. How about I come down and fight you for your undisputed titles? Oh, he changed his phone number and everything. Relocated to a new zip code, everything.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, man. I don't know what's the word? I didn't catch the beginning. What's the word on Canelo? Him coming back.
He's coming back in September, and Turkey has given him a small list of guys.
So he got to face somebody.
Iglesias, Diego Pacheco, Christian Mbili, and Hamza Shiraz.
Oh, you know Turkey want that Shiraz fight, but
exactly.
want that one. I'd love to see Mbili fight too, but the Hamza Shiraz fight probably what he gonna end up taking for the money.
Well, it's looking like he's picking Mbili. Oh, and this is what I was gonna say, Drew, after I had saluted the general. I'm thinking that he's picking Mbili, not only also because of like his style and his size, but he's coming off a real tough fight with Lester Martinez. See, people like Canelo, those are the kind of things they think about too. Well, he really took a shellacking in that fight with Lester Martinez, so he might have lost something, or he might not, be at his best or whatever. Because you remember, and Billy kind of had been beating up people. Well, in that Martinez fight, it ended up a draw, but Martinez was kind of the better for wear when it was over.
Yeah. This is kind of historic. And I said earlier, General, that the boxing gods are evening things out, and people, they're doing it right in y'all face. And if y'all don't watch boxing, y'all are not paying attention. Everything that y'all put on other fighters is doubling back and it's hitting your favorite fighter, or the fighter that you put on the pedestal because that fighter opposes a fighter that we support. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. And they have to deal with this now. They were saying that Turkey made Devin fight Brian Norman Jr. And we were like, no, that's not true. But never mind that, because Devin fought him and he dominated. So now, what I'm telling y'all is, Canelo done drained 2 swamps. The Zone, he got them for I don't know how many millions. He got the PBC for over 100 million. And Turkey will pay him, but he ain't gonna give him money for not fighting his contemporaries.
And those situations were before Turkey got his investment in the Zone. He ain't letting that happen no more, because he done sat back and watched that happen.
That's right.
That ain't going down like that no more.
Just because you fools.
Yeah, that's why he couldn't.
You fools don't know who these 4 people that we mentioned are, because you're not paying them no mind. That's just great. I'm telling you that Canelo knows who they are. And just like he knew who Benavidez was. And we always told y'all, he can avoid the Benavidez work, but there's always somebody in those rankings. And these guys have enough talent around them. When I say talent, I don't mean other fighters. They got people that got eyes in their group. You'll go back in those rankings and see who's going to be a problem. Because when this guy comes up and cracks the top 10, I might have to move up, or I might have to, in Canelo's case,
guys that get called in for sparring. Remember, because that's how you find out. See, David Benavidez was sparring pros when he was a teenager.
Yep.
You understand? And they sent him over there to spar Gennady Golovkin. That's when Golovkin was the world champion. And he hanging with Golovkin in the gym, and Golovkin made him his chief sparring partner. And remember, people were talking about Canelo and Golovkin back then, and Canelo was the one stalling that out. But you don't think he heard about Benavidez back then? They say, hey, man, you know, Golovkin hired this guy because he's giving him the work in the business in the gym.
Y'all saw that picture all online with him and Bivol? I understand he was beating Bivol ass. They brought him in there. And they stand next to each other. He's super bigger than Bivol. And I saw Canelo stand next to Bivol, and I'm like, yo, he's super bigger than Canelo. Yo, look.
Quiet as this kept, and I give David Benavidez a great deal of credit for this. He doesn't talk about his sparring, but he talks about the fact that he has sparred quality champions and world-class fighters throughout the years, going back into his teen years. So you got these guys today that, you know, they're drama queens. They want, I whooped so-and-so in sparring and this and that. David Benavidez understands that he holds the sanctity about the work that he's put in. That's why he's so confident about his abilities to go forward. He got that work in against Zurdo when Zurdo was the world champion, and he was just contending before he became a champion himself. He was giving Zurdo great work in the gym too. Benavidez was. So this is something, again, he didn't have that amateur career, but damn it if he didn't learn on the job. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
This is amazing stuff.
78, I want to ask you, since you've joined us, check this out. And Drew and I was speaking on it earlier. Like this kid, Osli Iglesias, he's a Cuban fighter. He's fighting out of Germany now, but he's from Cuba.
Right.
He's 14-0 with 13 knockouts. He's 28 years old. He's 6'2.5". He has a big punch in either hand, and he can box. Of course, Cuban school of boxing, but he be taking people out. I was telling Drew in the chat, I said, there is and has been a covert thing about keeping these Cuban fighters away from the world titles.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's been happening since forever. I mean, they don't want Cuban fighters. This is how they look at it. They saying the big wigs and it was, I can't remember who it was. Maybe y'all remember, but it was a promoter or a manager that did an interview years ago, and he said on somebody's channel that the Cuban style is a complicated style, like the Black American style, and he said he keep his fighters away from it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember who that was, but it was whoever it was. For some reason I think it was from somebody from Top Rank, but I'm not sure. But he said he keep his fighters away from that style.
Yeah.
Now it's even sometimes worse for the Cuban dudes. That we know how bad it is for the brothers in America, but it might be sometimes even worse for the Cubans because they don't even speak English most of the time, and then so now they getting hit with the double whammy, and then people treat them like illegal immigrants, like, oh, you lucky to even be here. So man, here, take this money we give you here, and blah blah blah, right? You know what I'm saying? Deontay Wilder gave Luis Ortiz an opportunity twice. Yeah. When AJ and Eddie Hearn signed them just to keep them on the show.
Yep.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. And then you look at the other Cuban dudes. What's that? The one who looked like a Neanderthal, but he's real good though. He's black, but he looked like a Neanderthal. He got some weird ass Frank Sanchez.
Yeah, Frank.
Yeah. Now he got hands, right? Now when the last time we heard about him?
Yeah, there's a lot of, you know what? He was scheduled, and I'm glad you mentioned this because it makes me think back, because I was supposed to, I think I did a video on it, but he was scheduled for several different sanctioned fights at heavyweight, and each opponent withdrew. It's like, it happened like 3 or 4 times. And the latest time was like maybe a month or 2 ago. He was supposed to be sanctioned to fight somebody in the heavyweight division. And you know how they say it's going to purse bid and stuff like that. And the other fighter pull out. It happened like 3 or 4 times in a row.
Crazy, man.
I mean, you know, his stock didn't fall when he lost to, we're talking about Frank Sanchez, when he lost to Ajit Cabiel. But he still provides a problem for majority of the division. He's still a scary dude, you know. But I jokingly had said, you know, what's worse than being black by today's standards in boxing? And the answer is being black and Cuban.
By the way, you mentioned Ajit Cabiel, another who's being tremendously avoided. I have said on several occasions over the past couple of months that Ajit Cabiel is the best heavyweight in the heavyweight division. I've said it. And people are not in tune with that because he's fighting out of Germany. He's very low key and everything, but he has exactly the right package at this time to beat the guys that's at the top. But they won't give him his title shot. They keep talking about putting him in with another humdinger of a fight. But why does he have to keep fighting the tough fights when he has shown you? Did he not whoop and beat up and knock out Zhilei Zhang? Did he not beat up and knock out Frank Sanchez?
Yeah, he did.
You know what I'm saying? And this guy, Damian Nyba, that he fought back in January over in Germany. He sold out the whole damn stadium. That wasn't a arena. That was a stadium. And he sold that out. So they can't say he don't make, you know, box office money. And of course he beat the big, real Neanderthal looking guy, Makhmudov.
Makhmudov, yeah.
Out of him.
that guy looked like a whole fucking caveman.
That dude, he beat the crap out of that dude. He basically took the fight out of him with the body shots and everything. That guy was left looking around like,
oh wait,
me in there with him, you know. It was like,
sidebar, y'all. This just in. I don't know if you heard. Well, I was telling you, Stormy, but General, I think the Furies done broke up.
Oh, for his father and him and Tyson.
Yeah. I read a direct quote. I'm waiting for more information, and I brought that up because that caveman dude is fighting Fury, because Fury, you know, had to cycle off of his shit. So you know, he's fighting this guy, but on what is this? Daily Mail. John says, I think he is past his best, Tyson has been gone since the Deontay Wilder fights. They finished him. That was from John Fury. So look for more beans to be being spilled. And that's what I'm saying. All of this, the boxing gods are bringing everything together.
What finished them is the fact that they used all of their goodie bags up against Deontay.
Yeah.
And the thing is, he been found out. He can't fight in the U.S. no more. And he's still on the shit. Okay? But everybody know. Turkey know. Everything. When he fought in Riyadh, every single time, he lost, didn't he? Or damn near lost, because even Ngannou, people thought Ngannou whooped him.
Yeah.
Over there. So, you know, the gig is up. Huh? And Sweet and Low, nowhere to be seen, because he was a part of the sham. You know, car fire for him still.
Yep, good. Fuck him.
Just like,
it makes me.
I just got that Sweet and Low.
Yeah, Sweet and Low.
Yeah.
Huh?
It makes me wonder, this giant caveman looking dude. Now that I think about it, because I'm like, man, Fury gonna style on him, and hopefully we get a.
Well, the only thing he got going for him, Drew, chat in '78, is that fight is going to be in the UK. That's not a Riyadh fight.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And that's the only thing he got going for him.
Yeah.
But Makhmudov could still apply some pressure on him. He don't deal with pressure very well at all.
Nah, he don't.
And the only thing that can help him is his goodie bag. He might be able to pull out a few tricks of his goodie bag in the UK. But I'm going to tell you something. With so much of what we've revealed, what Deontay has revealed, what the experiences have been, there's plenty for people to be able to witness what's going on. There's plenty.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I can't wait. I can't wait because I think it's going to end bad for Fury too.
When is that fight?
It's right around the corner, as a matter of fact.
It's in April sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I always said those Wilder fights took some shit out of him.
He did. I mean, he did.
Well, to be perfectly honest, Deontay knocked his ass out in the first fight.
Yeah,
it should have been the end of him right then and there.
Yeah.
That was some BS, man.
Yeah, it should take a lot out of you when you can get several concussions and motherfucker waking you up with salts and shit and wake up, get up, and all that shit. That motherfucker supposed to got lost. He was supposed to got knocked out.
And whatever he had in his system in that first fight against Deontay and the third fight too, whatever he had in him, it's the same shit that Nigel Benn had.
Yeah, oh yes, it was, man.
That stuff, whatever it is, 78 chat, Drew, it gives you a shot of adrenaline. I think it's like it kicks in because it's like when you are under trauma, it needs a few seconds and it kicks in. Because once the guy comes back from that, it's almost like what happened to him didn't happen. And that is no rising like the Undertaker and all of that foolishness that they want to tell you. This is something chemically that they know that they've been using for years. They use it in the military and they're using it in boxing. The Americans might not know what it is because we don't have anybody doing that and behaving like that. But over there, I've seen it too many damn times. And I am going to say it on the air because it's fucking happening and people need to know this shit is happening. These guys are on something. You get hit, boom, you're in crisis. All you need is a few extra seconds because the refs take slow counts and things like that. And then it kicks in like the adrenaline. When Nigel Benn got knocked out by Gerald McClellan, it was the same thing. Gerald hit him. He was unconscious. He went into the ropes and he fell on his back. And the ref was taking a slow count. And he woke up and he got up and climbed back in there and he fought like it never happened.
General, did you see my live when I covered the interview with Andre Ward and Lisa McClellan? Did you catch it?
I seen some of it, not the whole thing.
Did you see where I said that they altered Andre Ward's video, the original one?
Yeah. They took that part out where she said that that old boy was on that juice.
Yep. But everyone saw it already.
The
I'm
guy
telling
from
you.
his camp called her and told her.
That's right. Came all the way to Chicago, and he said absolutely he was on steroids. And I went back, and when I did the live, me and Stormy did the live that Sunday, and we were listening for it. I said, where the fuck did it go? I know it was early in the.
And it was also removed that they were celebrating in the lobby of the hospital.
In the hospital.
That was removed too, because they was popping Dom Perignon. And,
that's right.
And Andre Ward was like, not the Dom.
Yeah. They took that out. Now, why the hell would they take that out? And it couldn't be for no legal reasons. This is her story. She said that. So when we talk about how messed up this sport is, man, these are the things we're talking about. Gerald McClellan should have never gotten on the plane and went over there. And of course, when I went to certain things on Instagram talking about it, what do you think people were saying in the chat? Oh, well, you know, Gerald wasn't a good guy anyway. And I don't want to go back and forth for people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I don't want to cuss them out. I just leave. You know what I'm saying? But that is enraging. But this is what the fuck these clowns do. Gerald McClellan. And you see, this is why we take this shit seriously. That could have happened to Devin after the first Ryan fight.
Bro, I'm telling you, that's why that shit hurt me, bro. That shit hurt me. I felt some type of way about that fight, man. Like, I was emotionally messed up for weeks.
Me too, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Because, like, just looking at them people laughing and celebrating, and I'm knowing that something went right, I just couldn't put my finger on it. And then when it came back, Bill, I remember Bill called me, said, man, that motherfucker popped, man. I said, what?
I remember, because you called me. I was in St. Martin when you called me.
Exactly. I called you right after Bill called me, yeah. And he was like, yeah, he was like, that motherfucker pop, man. He said, Bill so crazy. He said, yeah, he said, man, tell them motherfuckers to give you your money back. Because Bill know I lost the grip. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was like, man, I couldn't believe this shit. So I'm like, bro, but I felt a little bit of relief that I knew that I wasn't crazy, but then at the same time I got even more mad because I'm like, bro, this dude tried to kill Dan.
Bro, that's the problem, bro. And he didn't give a shit.
Right. They tried to take him out, and like it's like, bro, how many times they try to do this mess with Wilder? Now y'all trying to do it with Devin. Bro, I was so angry behind that. And I'm gonna tell you something, Stormy. You own to something what you were saying about the thing. Now I'm gonna tell you something. This is my belief. I don't have proof that this is what they taking because the drug test should catch this. But if you know the drug tests can be rigged, but they should catch it. But it's a substance, a drug that's called halotestin. All right. Now, halotestin was used back in the day. It's extremely toxic to the liver, extremely. You don't need much of it. It's an oral steroid. You take a little bit of it, and it makes you extremely strong. Power lifters used to use it because you wouldn't gain weight. You could stay in your weight class, whatever weight class you in for powerlifting or whatever. It makes you extremely aggressive, ridiculously aggressive. That's why a lot of dudes stop taking it because they just go into rages and beat their wives and oh, you cheating and just get crazy. But they started giving it to soldiers because they found out that one of the side effects of this drug was an abnormal recovery from pain. Okay, an abnormal recovery from pain. So now a power lifter can snap some shit up, right? Lifting weights, supposed to put him out of commission. But because he got this mess in his system, he's still trying to go out there for another lift, right? Now, so when they gave this to soldiers, these dudes will be shot, and remember how Scarface was with the cocaine? I can't feel it. They on that type of time with the halotestin.
Yeah.
right? But like I said, they stopped manufacturing it, but it's one place that was still manufacturing it in high quantities. You can get it from the black market over there. And guess what that was? The Philippines. Back when Pacquiao was at his height. Back when Pacquiao was at his height. You know what I'm saying? And then so when Pacquiao talking about he's scared of needles, I used to laugh like, bro.
Oh, that was funny as hell.
Yeah, it's like you don't need
Not
no
only
needles.
that, but check this out. Going back to Pacquiao, and I'm glad you mentioned him because I'm going to point something out. Pacquiao fought Juan Manuel 4 times. If you remember the first 2 fights, Juan Manuel would hit Pacquiao and knock him the fuck sideways. And Pacquiao will go right back into the fray.
Yeah.
That's unnatural.
Yeah.
That's unfucking natural for a guy who turned pro at what, 112, 118 pounds?
Straw weight. He turned pro.
Yeah. So you know, and see, General, I know, see, you understand that stuff because you got that background where you know a lot about those substances and everything. But me working with people in the gym, me having a history of watching the sport, I know what's a natural injury that I'm looking at, and I know the difference when I'm seeing something that's abnormal. That's like I explained to Drew about how to look at facial injuries with guys. You can tell when the gloves or the hand wraps or whatever have been tainted.
Right.
When a guy, it leaves a different type of residual damage to the face structure.
Right.
It's almost like a guy putting brass knuckles on with a leather glove over it and tying a guy down in a chair and punching him in the face. It's like certain injuries are, especially, you hear me say all the time, watch boxing.
Right.
You learn how certain cuts happen. They'll bleed a certain way. Certain cuts may bleed more than others. Damage around the eyes, the orbital bone and stuff like that. If you notice, in boxing, we're having more orbital bone damage.
Yes, sir.
In boxing. Well, boxing has been a sport that's been around for freaking 200 years. We're seeing more injury, and the gloves are better now than they were back then. Those guys used to fight with mitts. You understand? And men were stronger then than they are now. So what you're telling me is something is afoot when you see all these broken orbital bones, broken bones in people's faces, because it's not a natural thing that it happens that way. You got guys who aren't like Deontay Wilder. If he broke someone's jaw, broke their nose, broke their cheekbone, whatever, you know, you say, well, the way he punches, yeah, I understand. Well, how is it that guys who are not noted punchers like that fracturing other guys' orbital bones and shit? Tell you a fight that I'm talking about specifically. Juggernaut against Daniel Dubois.
Yes, sir.
You look at Daniel Dubois. He is a country strong, UK born and bred young man.
Yeah.
He looked like one of them, what they used to call them colonizers, a big black buck, right?
Bro, he's stronger than AJ, but the physique is different, but he's stronger than AJ.
Yeah.
He's stronger than him.
But Juggernaut, who wasn't a noted puncher, fractured that orbital bone.
How'd that happen, bro?
See? You see what I'm saying? It's like he couldn't fracture Zili Zane's orbital bone. He couldn't fracture what was his name? Derek Chisora's orbital bone. But against Dubois, what happened? See, I'm telling you, when you look at a guy has a body of work. Deontay left bodies everywhere. Huh? He could hit him in the side of the head or under the neck or whatever, and guys was laid out. How is the Juggernaut doing that to someone that's like Dubois? AJ hit that dude with a big right hand, and he just backed up a little bit. Do you see what I'm saying? And we know that AJ punches harder than the juggernaut.
He does.
See, this is what I'm telling you guys. When you're watching boxing, yeah, we get caught up in action and stuff like that. But when cooler heads prevail and you look and say, you know what? Something ain't right here. Something ain't right. That's why I didn't like that shit with Sweet and Low talking about he taught Tyson to turn his
punch, bro.
You know what? That was so insulting to me because fuck, Emmanuel Stewart taught people to turn their punches over and wasn't getting those kind of results.
Yeah. Teddy Atlas taught Tim Bradley to turn his punches over. He wasn't out here knocking out everybody in the world.
Yeah.
And you remember Tim Bradley had an exceptional physique, but he wasn't a powerful guy.
He wasn't a powerful puncher like that. No,
not at all. I don't recall him breaking shit, but a sweat.
But a lot of some of the most devastating punchers in boxing is built like Olympic swimmers anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right.
Fucking shit. Tommy
remember all the knockouts that Julian Jackson had?
Julian Jackson, yeah.
He wasn't fracturing eye sockets and stuff like that. He was just concussing people, putting them to sleep.
Yeah. A lot of it is accuracy. But you're right. Felix Trinidad didn't look like a powerful guy. He didn't look like a powerful guy. But when you got wide lats, that's why I told you. When
Felix is guilty of suspect hand wraps. Was a tremendous period of his fights. 2 fighters that he fought that I saw that facial damage that I just mentioned to you guys. One, I'll never freaking forget this, and I'll hold it to him till the day he fucking dies. Obakar. Obakar's face looked like mincemeat when Felix got through with him. And Oba was a tough guy, meaning that he was a good fighter. He may not have been great, but he was tough. And being good and tough can get you places in boxing. He could not sustain that damage that Felix put on him. The other guy was Yuri Boy Compass. Yuri Boy Compass had a chin and was kind of like a larger version of Chavez with a lot of knockouts himself. When Felix fought him, same thing with his face. Fernando Vargas against Felix Trinidad. Same thing. You see what I'm saying? You see how I'm aligning? And these are fights from the past.
You remember when William Joppy was on the show?
William Joppy, man, that's why I hate Trinidad, because of the William Joppy fight.
Yeah.
I love William Joppy, man. And Trinidad beat that man like he called him with his daughter or something, man.
You might not remember, General, but when he was on the show, I think that was like our second guest ever.
Yeah, I remember. I caught that. I was like, damn, he had William Joppy. I was mad as hell. I wasn't up there.
Yo, the man said when Tito caught him, he don't remember shit after that. I said, what do you mean? He said, I know I got up and fought, but he said, I don't remember the fight at all. He don't remember shit. He said, I know that man cheated me. The way
you remember when he fought Fernando Vargas, that first big left hook he hit Vargas with. Vargas had a look on his face as if
what
to
the
say,
fuck
what
was
the
that?
fuck was that? He had a look because he got hit, boom, and he had this look like
he froze up, like he was answering the phone. Like he said, hello, anybody?
Yeah.
No, you know what the look he had?
Check this out. Knowing what Ryan did against Devin, right? I'm getting ready to connect some serious dots. Felix Trinidad, do you now see why Oscar fought him the way he did?
Yes, sir.
Isn't that a message?
Yes, sir.
Oscar stayed on the move because he knew Felix couldn't keep up with that. And his trainer, that old Mexican guy, I forget his name, had Oscar moving lightly on his feet, moving around. And then in those last few rounds, he just moved. He didn't even fight too much anymore. That's why he lost that decision. But he never gave Felix an opportunity to do those things to him. And you can't tell me he didn't know what was going on. When I see that fight, that's what I see. And it's funny that Oscar's Mexican, he's Puerto Rican, but they don't want to tell the dirt on each other. Come on, man.
Those guys are all
speaking the truth up here on this platform.
You remember the same look that Joppy had on his face? That's the same look Adrian Broner had on his face when Maidana went upside his head. I ain't never seen no shit like that, bro. Other than Fernando Vargas. Because AB, if anything, he had a chin. He had a chin on him. And when Maidana hit him, he was laying on those ropes like, what the fuck was that? That wasn't a punch. He got hit with an object.
Responded to Fury hitting him in that second fight. When in all actuality, in the first fight, somewhere in the middle of the rounds, Deontay said, man, he can't punch.
Yeah.
Deontay actually said that. So all of a sudden, in fight 2, he can punch all of a sudden.
And devastating punching too.
Yeah.
Breaking his skull, bro. But see, the pipe bomb was Nicholas Asbury. Everybody broke that story. He was on my platform. He was on Dante's platform. He said, man, I turned that motherfucker glove sideways and the egg weight fell out. And then that explains the dent in Deontay's head. Man, this is attempted murder, y'all. This is attempted murder. Now, when Jarrell Miller tried to lie and say he wasn't on drugs, and then when he got caught, he admitted it. He had half of a pharmacy in his bloodstream. I said, I don't like AJ, but I didn't want AJ to die in the ring. Now, he admitted it, and he didn't see action for like 3 years. You know what I'm saying? But his response was, yo, man, I think that AJ's on testosterone. But I said, well, brother, you got caught. AJ ain't get caught. But I don't want to see these dudes die in the fucking ring. Well, some niggas I do want to see die in the ring now. It's fair game. It's fair game, man. I don't feel no way about these clowns. You know what I'm saying? We advocate for a clean sport. They tried to kill Deontay 3 times. They tried to kill Devin, right? These guys are killers. That's why, you know, and when I see you big lip monkeys running around here high-fiving, I'm getting on Keyshawn tomorrow. Everybody on that list, y'all about to get work because the boxing guys are evening things out. Y'all have no idea. And they starting with this dude, Canelo. And don't be surprised. You know, I picked Fury to beat this Makhmudov dude. But if Fury's not on his drugs and he's cycling off, don't be surprised if he come in there and he's out of breath and all kinds of stuff, and now he's falling out with his dad. The writing's on the wall. I just want a 4th fight with him and Deontay on a clean playing field. That's what I want, but you know, I want these cheaters dead. I'm being honest with you. There's no room for this. This is unacceptable. I want these dudes dead. And where is Sugar Hill, by the way?
See, you know, him and Tyson Fury are always falling out. They're always falling out behind the scenes for whatever reason. I don't know the details, but I know it's people who told me that they ain't talking, and then they get back cool after a couple of months and this and that. So one of these days, Sugar Hill gonna spill the beans. You know? And when he do,
I don't think he's gonna spill the beans, General, simply because he in too deep.
Well, you know what? If he's falling out with his dad and they start interviewing John and John starts spilling the beans, he's gonna throw this nigga under the bus. I'm waiting for that. I said that's what's gonna happen when they start talking about no, he is a cheater. They're gonna turn to the goddamn black trainer. Well, you had to have known, and then all of a sudden it's gonna be Sugar Hill's fault. Oh, Tyson didn't know what he was taking. Remember what they said with Manny Pacquiao? Oh, if he took something, he didn't know it. Yeah, right. Watch what I tell you. They do it with Ryan. Oh well, it's Scooter. It's perfect amino. It's Super Carb. It's Bill. It's Sean. It's everybody but them. Watch.
Zab Judah.
It's Zab Judah. Man, didn't Zab go off the other day? I missed it. Didn't he go off on
Yeah, Zab went off on Henry and shit. I'm gonna probably cook on that tomorrow. I'll cook on Henry and Keyshawn too. I'm gonna cook on Keyshawn.
I'm dragging all these clowns. The boxing guys are watching. Everything's coming to fruition. Everybody talking. Everybody on Devin's list. Man, Brian Norman Jr., he's the only real one. Everybody else can EAD.
Yeah,
everybody else.
Hey, y'all, brothers, I'm gonna kick back and get my nap in so I can get up in the morning. But I'm gonna talk to y'all brothers tomorrow.
All right, man. Thanks for stopping through, brother. Appreciate it.
Peace, y'all.
All right. So yeah, we could get ready to wrap this up, Drew. I know we went a little longer than we normally would do on this show, but we did have great subject and
Yeah.
context, and the conversation really picked up. You know, when we started
Shout out
talking.
to y'all on Rumble, man. That's the place, man. Shout out to y'all on Rumble. I mean,
Absolutely.
sooner or later, you're gonna have to go to Rumble to catch us live. Period.
Yep.
The short content's gonna be on YouTube, but we're always gonna refer you to Rumble. There's a lot more freedom over here on Rumble, man. A lot more freedom. No one bothers us. If we have to play interviews, we ain't got to worry about getting flagged, because we're not making money off of that, off of playing. We do it for educational purposes, but YouTube is just a bunch of weirdos. You know what I mean?
And I finally made 100 followers over there at Rumble. So,
oh man, salute.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm telling you, man, starting off the live stream on YouTube and then telling people to click that link to come over to Rumble so we can speak more freely. It's the way to go, man. It's the way to go. So yeah, man, this is dope. And all we want to do is bring you the content unedited, raw and uncut. And if Miguel wants to get away with that, follow us on Rumble, man. Follow us on Rumble, because soon that's where we're gonna be, full time. Because Miguel don't deserve our talents. And I'm just letting y'all know, tomorrow we definitely going over to Rumble, because what I got to say about Keyshawn, it's not for YouTube's virgin ears. I promise you it's not. I promise you. So with that being said, man, salute to y'all, man.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to get ready to get on out of here. I want to thank the General for stopping through and cooking with us for a moment. And I appreciate the numbers that have risen for this broadcast while we were cooking. We see you guys. We didn't do any shout outs this evening because we jumped right into our subject matters, but we really appreciate everyone that came in and showed some love for the broadcast. Those that are over on Rumble, we see the numbers are doing very well over there. And don't forget to share the content, man. That's another thing that you can do to assist in us being strong in the game, because it's very important that you have someone that can show a foundation about being critical with this sport. It's a beloved sport that we all follow and cherish, that we watch these warriors compete, but we only want the best for them and for what they do with their lives and careers. And, you know, sometimes you just got to tell it like it is. And that's what we do. We tell it like it is, and we show the type of, you know, consideration with respect, because I think it's very disrespectful when you are aware of things and you play dumb. You try to pretend like it don't exist and all of this. Remember, these men have families, children, loved ones that they need to return home to. And with some of the corruption that is at the root of the sport, sometimes it doesn't happen. And we have to be responsible enough to put that out there as well. So with that being said, I want to say shout out to the mighty LDBC. We appreciate everybody that came in this evening. If you came in late, go back, run it back, and you'll find out that we had a great cook on our subject this evening. Slim pickings for Canelo in this coming September. So peace to everybody. Enjoy the weekend coming up, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Yes, sir.